Hey everyone, welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom. I'm Jake T. O'Donnell. Today we're opening this pack of 1996 Fleer Baseball Red Sox cards. All Red Sox cards in this pack. I picked this pack up at Don's Sports Card Center in Portland, Maine. And when I saw it, I was like, I gotta have this and I gotta open it on the channel. This is one for me. Sorry if folks out there are not Red Sox fans or that you don't really care about this era or whatever. The Ringer, they have that Rewatchables podcast. Occasionally they do movies that are not necessarily hugely popular. They just say, this is one for us. So this is one for me. 1996, I'm 10 years old, and the Red Sox are everything. They're, in baseball, the Red Sox, I'm in Little League at this point, and I love everything about baseball, about the Red Sox. So we'll see what we get. This is 96 is not a playoff year for the Red Sox. It's a year after they win the division for the first time in a few years. I think 90 they won the division. 86, 88, 89. Sorry, not 89. 90 they win the division all of those years. Sorry, this is going to... I'm really bad at opening these packs. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so I was able to get this a little bit. So let's see who we got in here. This is my favorite era. So there's first card is Vaughn Eshelman. That is a name right there, I'll tell you. And this looks like the pictures are from spring training. But yeah, lefty. He was like a decent prospect. Came up, didn't really do a heck of a lot. But it's kind of a fun name that comes up in conversation every now and then. We're talking about Red Sox players from this era. There he is, the Rocket. The Rocket Roger. His last year with the Red Sox, 96, he, in the very sort of throes, the final end of his career with the Red Sox, the last month, he throws his second 20 strikeout game in September of that year in a game in Tiger Stadium against the Tigers. I will never forget that. Dan Duquette said he was in the twilight of his career. They were willing to let him walk after he had played with the Red Sox. I believe this was his 13th year with the Red Sox. Or 11th year, and he was, multi-time Cy Young winner, had one of the greatest stretches of any pitcher. He really kind of was the team for a while. I can't really say enough about his actual pitching ability. The split-fingered fastball that he developed, the high, hard ones, not afraid to throw inside, all of the things that you want out of a intimidating, tough pitcher. That's who Roger Clemens was. I have to say, though, at this point, I think that the assessment that he was in the twilight of his career was not an unfair one from Dan Duquette at that point, because he had trouble staying healthy. He was not healthy for a good chunk of the 95 season, and he honestly seemed out of shape for good stretches during this time period. But he got himself together, let's just say. The next year he goes to the Blue Jays. He's there for 2 years and then is with the Yankees and then a bit of time with the Astros late in his career. All I'll say is that Clemens is like pretty much the best pitcher of my lifetime, the most prolific one, and he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I don't really think you can say what you want about him as a person and his, what he did, what is known that he did later on, but he was like the best pitcher of my lifetime. And he should be in the Hall of Fame. Shout out to Greg, Midlife Cards. Roger is one of his all-time favorite players. All right, Stan Belinda, reliever, had spent some time with the Pirates, I believe. Had that kind of three-quarter sidearm delivery. You see it right there. So there you go. He's a member of those bullpens. There's Tom Flash. Actually, hold on a second. I think we might have these. There are two cards here to get. Yes, hold on 1 second. All right, before we get to Flash Gordon, we have this checklist. Hey, yeah, gotta love the checklist, and there are the names that we might see in the rest of this, but you see a few great players. Not one Hall of Famer, but a bunch of really good players too. One guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, and a few others that had really good careers. But let's talk about Flash Gordon. He came over to the Red Sox. I think this was his first year. He was, I think, initially was a starter, and then went into being a closer. And I always loved him. I always loved Tom Gordon, and his obviously has sons that have played in the big leagues, and just a really prolific reliever for especially for the Red Sox, this year and a few years down the line. There's Will Cordero, came over from the Expos, was a good player, good hitter. He had a domestic violence incident that happened while he was with the Red Sox, and that really, honestly, kind of stained his. It's weird to say he had a legacy, but I invite people to look that up if they want to. But that was a big story for him. And there's Jose. There he is. Business in the front, party in the back. Jose Canseco. Basically spent 2 years with the Red Sox. Just like his power numbers were out of this world at Fenway Park. It's not surprisingly. Pretty much just a DH. What can you say about Jose Canseco? 88 AL MVP, first member of the 40-40 club, an incredible power hitter, and then blew the lid off of the whole entire era with a tell-all book that, who knows how much. A lot of it ended up being true. Some of it maybe was not, but one of the all-time personalities, really, ultimately. Certainly, some of his own demons in the closet. But his absolute hatred for A-Rod is one of the funniest things on social media. And Jose Canseco, and I loved getting to root for him. Like he just was, it was just funny. Speaking of guys that I love to root for, the cards are kind of sticking together. I'm going to get to him in a second. There's Tim. This is a great pack, guys. This is awesome. This was, Tim Wakefield comes to the Red Sox in '95, and he was picked off the scrap heap. The Pirates had kind of, given up on him, the knuckleball. He comes to the Red Sox '95 and is lights out. It has such a great year, helps lead them to the playoffs, and then is part of the team for the next 15 years and is just this great ambassador for the game, great ambassador for the Red Sox, becomes a broadcaster, becomes, big part of the Red Sox Foundation, an incredible person. And then just very suddenly, 2023, he gets sick and we lose him on the last day of the season. And that was really tough to take, and it's still tough to take. It's hard to believe that he's not there. One of the things, if you watched the Red Sox documentary that came out on Netflix recently about the '04 season, the thing that really stands out to me that's really tough is that Wakefield did not live long enough to sit for an interview for that documentary, and it hurts, honestly, as a Red Sox fan. But just remembering the good times, he did whatever was asked of him, no matter what the situation was. There's this amazing moment. The Red Sox win the World Series in '07. He's not pitching well. He is willing to give up his spot on the roster so that other guys can contribute. And after they won that game, after the Red Sox won Game 4, there's this really well-known interview that's really well-known, especially in Boston, where he's being interviewed and Mike Timlin comes up behind him and says, "We won this for this guy. This guy sacrificed, gave of himself so that we could win this, and we won this for him, and this is why we're here." And it was a beautiful moment and indicative of the person that Tim Wakefield was. And as a Red Sox fan, a year and a half plus after he died, it's still hard to believe and hard to take. If you listen to the podcast, The Memory Place, which is run by a guy named Nate DeMeo, he's a Red Sox fan, not a big Red Sox fan necessarily currently per se, but after Tim Wakefield died, he did a beautiful tribute to him. So go look that up and check that out. Or The Memory Palace. It's Nate DeMeo is the guy that's the host of it, but anyway, he did a great episode on Tim. Okay. Rest in peace, Tim. There's John Valentin, who was just absolutely one of my favorite players as a kid. Just a very consistent hitter, really excellent shortstop, and then moved to third base to make a room for Nomar Garciaparra. And I remember him getting an unassisted triple play in a game, and he was just like a really, really just a good, solid ball player. And unfortunately, his health just betrayed him near the end of his career. He had multiple knee injuries. He was a great hitter for the Sox in the '99 playoffs, I remember. But multiple knee injuries really derailed him. He went back and played a few years with the Mets, which is where he grew up on Long Island. He was teammates at Seton Hall with Mo Vaughn. I love John Valentin. Great ball player. And then the last is Mike Stanley, who was another guy who spent time with the Red Sox and the Yankees as a catcher. leadership type. I'm surprised he was never a big league manager because he always struck me as being that type of guy. But good hitter for a catcher, really good receiver, really good backstop, and somebody that I always loved and respected. And he was a really good player. Like I said, a lot of time with the Red Sox and the Yankees as well. So anyway, so that's it. That was a lot of fun. Not surprisingly, I'm going to put up Tim at the center. Love that guy. Let me know what you thought of this pack. Do you like to rip team-specific packs? Let me know. Would love to hear it. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. Please subscribe to Wax Pack Wisdom if you've not previously. Check out where to follow us on our social media channels below. Please check out our ComC store, see if there's anything you like in there. And then check out our list of favorite nonprofits and charities. When I think of Tim Wakefield, I think of giving back. And we try to make sure that we give people the opportunity to give back as well. So please take a look and see if there's anything in there that you would be interested in contributing to if you're able to. So thanks very much for watching, and we will see you next time on Wax Pack Wisdom. Take care.